Stirling's Library, the Scottish Stock Exchange in the centre of Glasgow, completely modernised inside, its exterior restored. Correlative with the period of Glasgow's greatest wealth was a flowering of architectural genius. Park Terrace, one of the finest examples of Victorian grace. Trinity Towers. The Glasgow School of Art, Charles Rennie Mackintosh's masterpiece. The Mitchell Library, the largest public reference library in Scotland, was endowed in 1874 by Stephen Mitchell, a tobacco merchant. Pollock House, designed by William Adam, was gifted to the city in 1967. Glasgow's patron saint, St Mungo, and Glasgow University. Part of the Burrell collection, one of the most important collections of paintings and art objects in the United Kingdom, is on display at Kelvin Grove Museum and Art Galleries. A new gallery to house the entire collection is planned for the grounds of Pollock House, and a competition will be held to find the best design. Kelvin Grove Museum itself epitomizes Glasgow's Victorian opulence. At the city's Transport Museum, monuments of engineering magnificence. A railway locomotive built at Springburn in the boom years of steam and empire. And at Kelvin Grove, a Clyde-built steamship engine. Glasgow grew rich on the tides of the Clyde. The river itself grew dirtier and dirtier. Strict controls and cleaning up measures are now exercised by the Clyde River Purification Board. And by 1980, the river water will be pure enough to support fish once again. Its banks also will be transformed. Ocean-going shipping will by then be operating chiefly in the deeper waters of the Firth of Clyde. Glasgow docks, Queens, Princes, Kingston, will be filled in, and the recreated land attractively and usefully deployed. The grim lines of warehouses and waterfront factories will be demolished and walkways constructed, so that for the first time in 100 years, the people of Glasgow will have the visual and amenity benefits of the river freely accessible. Time and the river. The river changes, and the next generation grows. The newly built Sick Children's Hospital and the Queen Mother Maternity Hospital. The latest medical techniques are available for the newest citizens and their mothers. And the doctors of 1980, studying at Glasgow University's world-famous medical school, gain practical experience. At Jordan Hill Training College, the teachers of 1980. Langside College of Further Education. By 1980, as many as 24,000 men and women from all over the West of Scotland region will be receiving full-time education at the city's universities and colleges. Part of a rapidly developing educational precinct near the city centre, Glasgow College of Building, and the young men whose skills will build the new houses and roads, offices and factories, hospitals, colleges and schools for their children, for the next generation. Newbury Tower, an extension of Glasgow School of Art. The new Glasgow University Library. In 1964, Glasgow's Royal College of Science and Technology was raised in status to a university, the University of Strathclyde, where the city's proud technological tradition, its fund of sheer know-how, is constantly being replenished and advanced. The new Glasgow, with its industrial estates and with the industrial and commercial zones of its development areas, gives its people space to work as well as space to live, greater physical and mental freedom, and understanding of what they do. Industrial Glasgow 1980 will not be oil, sweat, and back-breaking labor. Commercial Glasgow 1980 will not be mindless columns of figures. Muscle gives place to automation, heavy engineering to micro-engineering, the age of the computer. The art world might call these multiples. The world of industry knows them as Glasgow-made jet engine components, accurate to within a millionth of an inch. Glasgow consumes and produces, imports and exports. Its future growth depends on fast, efficient, automated handling of goods. Gushet Falls Rail Terminal in the southeast of the city handles 17 miles of standard international containers a week. Potentially, the Firth of Clyde is a deep-water port second to none in Europe. If the vision of ocean span is realized, the Glasgow region will become a vast container entrepot for the rest of Britain and Europe. Transportation, 1980. Glasgow's highway plan proposes a 4.5-mile inner ring road round the centre of the new city, making the central area easy to bypass, fast to get into, fast to get out of, more accessible. On June the 26th, 1970, a symbolic stage of this crucial development was reached when Her Majesty the Queen Mother opened the largest urban bridge in the United Kingdom. Built at a total cost of £11 million, the Kingston Bridge has a span of 880 feet over the waters of the Clyde. Its 5 northbound and 5 southbound lanes will carry 70,000 vehicles a day in 1975, 120,000 a day in 1990. The northern approaches to the Kingston Bridge bisect Anderston Comprehensive Development Area. Immediately to the east of the new urban motorway are the glittering glass and concrete towers of Anderston's commercial zone. West of the motorway, along the Clydeside Expressway, are situated Anderston's main housing and industrial zones. The commercial complex will incorporate a multiple-level system for a pedestrianised shopping area. People and shops on top, parking and services below. Springburn Comprehensive Development Area. New industrial estates, new housing, a new shopping centre, fewer people enjoying more space, closer links with the centre of Glasgow along the Springburn Expressway. Govan Comprehensive Development Area. Redevelopment of the riverside has housing and open space, new intercity to the south and along the links with the Renfrew motorway. Comprehensive development also for Woodside, Pollokshaws, Townhead, Cowcaddens, Rayston, Lauriston, Partick, Bridgeton and other areas. Glasgow's highway plan involves the construction by 1980 of 21.5 miles of motorways and expressways integrated with existing and expanded bus, train and underground services so that optimum coordination of transport is achieved. Faster, freer links with the Glasgow region and beyond, rationalisation and unification of the city's districts. In the city centre, as elsewhere, the segregation of pedestrians and traffic will mean less noise, fumes, anxiety, a more bustling, thriving commerce, a happier, healthier people. If roads are the bones of the new Glasgow, the flesh is the areas of development and redevelopment. Change on the scale that Glasgow has undertaken inevitably brings with it disruption, dislocation. But the aim is clear, a reorganised and better city. The greater leisure opportunities of Glasgow 1980 are illustrated by the network of walkways which will by then be in existence. The Kelvin Walkway will link up with the Highland Way, taking the hiker on a continuous nature trail to Loch Lomond and points north. The overall plan for the new Glasgow, on which the light blue spots represent proposed shopping and community centres, transforms the heart of the city into clean air, uncongested commercial and housing areas, locates industry with people in mind, and with the communications network, makes the city freer and more rational in terms of space, more compact and efficient in terms of time. Above all, it is the communications network which makes clear what direction Glasgow is taking for 1980. Links with the world, from Glasgow Airport, only 15 minutes by car from the city centre, to London, Paris, Amsterdam. Links with the region. 100,000 people come into Glasgow every day to work. Glasgow 1980 is west of Scotland 1980. A city with a future as big as its past. A city of fighters, whose response to a challenge is usually bigger than the challenge itself. A city whose energy has perhaps too much in the recent past been frustrated and corrupted into violence by apparently insurmountable social problems. But an energy which today is expressing itself, rediscovering itself, through the dynamism of change, difficult but necessary change, towards planned freedom, mobility, a more happily coordinated and prosperous society. There's a lot to be done, but the city and its people are doing it, reaching out for Glasgow 1980.